Your life is talking to you right now. Quietly, subtly, almost whispering through the things you ignore every day, and most people don't notice it until everything becomes too heavy to carry. But in today's video, I'm going to show you the exact signs that your reality is asking you for a shift, a deep internal adjustment that can change your entire direction. Because nothing collapses without giving warnings, and nothing transforms without first calling you. Are you ready to understand what your life has been trying to tell you? There is a moment in life when everything still looks the same on the outside, but inside, something has already shifted. You wake up in the same room, follow the same routines, talk to the same people, but there's a subtle pressure, a restlessness you can't fully identify. Most people dismiss it as tiredness, stress, or simply a phase. But this internal discomfort is the very first sign that your reality is asking for a shift. It begins quietly. Small things that never bothered you suddenly feel heavy. Conversations that once entertained you now feel repetitive. You notice yourself zoning out more often, staring at the ceiling or a window without thinking about anything specific, only feeling that something is off. This is the whisper of your evolving identity. Your inner world is growing, but your external world hasn't adjusted yet. Humans are creatures of habit. We stay in what is familiar long after it stops serving us. You may be holding on to a routine, a job, a mindset, or even a relationship simply because it once made sense. But life, in its natural intelligence, begins to send gentle internal messages when you're outgrowing your circumstances. Your emotions start revealing the truth before your mind is ready to accept it. You might feel unmotivated, not because you are lazy, but because the things you are doing are no longer aligned with who you are becoming. You might feel overwhelmed, not because you are weak, but because the environment you're in is too small for your future self. It's like wearing clothes that no longer fit. You can force them on, but they restrict your movement, your breathing, your energy. The discomfort grows slowly, almost politely. It gives you time to listen, but if you ignore it for too long, it will escalate. Life will keep repeating the message until you acknowledge it. This is why many people experience the same emotional patterns again and again. The same frustration, the same boredom, the same sense of emptiness. These are not failures. These are signals. The truth is, when your reality wants you to shift, the first thing it does is make the old version of your life unbearable. But here's the beauty hidden inside this discomfort. It's a sign of expansion. If you were not growing, you wouldn't feel the tension. Something inside you knows you deserve more, know you can be more, and knows you're ready for more. This inner knowing is pushing against the walls of your current life, and whether you're aware of it or not, this is the beginning of your transformation. There comes a point when the whispers of discomfort are no longer enough, and life begins to rearrange things around you. Suddenly, routines break, relationships shift, opportunities dissolve, and events unfold in ways you weren't expecting. Most people interpret these changes as problems or setbacks, but in reality, they are part of a larger pattern. When you resist inner change for too long, life creates outer change to force alignment. You lose interest in the things you once cared about. A friendship that was once central begins to feel distant. Work that once energized you now feels draining. You find yourself questioning the direction of your life, the purpose of your choices, and the meaning of your actions. This questioning is not a crisis. It is clarity trying to emerge. Life removes what no longer belongs, not to punish you, but to free you. Think about the times when something didn't work out no matter how hard you tried. It wasn't because you weren't capable. It was because your energy had already outgrown that phase. Life is always more aware of your next chapter than you are. It knows when it's time to let something fall away. This period can feel confusing. You may feel lost or uncertain, but uncertainty is not a void. It is space. Space for new direction, space for new identity, space for the version of you that your next chapter requires. And here's the part that most people miss. Before your life upgrades, it declutters. Anything that is not aligned with your future begins to collapse. Old habits stop working. Old dynamics feel heavy. You feel the urge to withdraw and reflect. You sense a quiet calling towards something, not necessarily bigger, but truer. The collapse of the old is a sign of the new entering. Life is not breaking you. Life is breaking the things you no longer need. And the moment you understand this, the chaos begins to look like guidance. At some point, after resisting, questioning, and observing the collapse of old patterns, you reach a moment that feels different from the rest. It is not dramatic. It doesn't feel like an explosion. It feels like a quiet, almost sacred internal click. A subtle shift in perception where something inside you finally says, enough. This is the breakthrough moment, the moment your awareness expands. It often comes during silence, during a walk, a shower, a long drive at night. Suddenly you recognize that you can't go back to who you were. The old you feels like a distant memory, familiar, but impossible to return to. Breakthroughs feel like relief before they feel like change. You stop pretending that certain things are okay. You stop forcing energy into people or situations that drain you. You stop lying to yourself about what you want. And even though nothing has changed on the outside yet, everything has changed on the inside. This moment is powerful because awareness cracks open the door to transformation. Once awareness enters, old patterns lose control. You can't unsee what you've seen. You can't unknow what your soul revealed to you. You can only move forward. But breakthroughs are not loud. They don't come with motivational speeches or fireworks. They come with clarity, a soft but unmistakable clarity that says, I deserve better. I am capable of more. I am ready. This inner shift is the true beginning of your transformation. Before any external action, before any major decision, before any visible change, the internal switch is flipped. And from that moment on, your energy starts aligning naturally with a new path. You don't have to force your transformation. You simply begin making different choices. And these small internal choices are what eventually rewrite your entire reality. Once you accept the shift your reality has been asking for, the world around you begins to respond in surprising ways. Doors you never noticed start opening. Ideas flow in with unusual clarity. People enter your life with perfect timing, almost as if the universe had been waiting for you to make space. Alignment is not magic. It just feels like it. When your internal world matches the direction of your external actions, resistance disappears. Things that once felt impossible now feel natural. Decisions that once felt heavy now feel obvious. You begin to trust your intuition more because it finally has a clear channel to guide you. Your energy changes, and reality rearranges itself around that energy. You stop seeking validation because you start embodying truth. You stop fearing the unknown because you start recognizing it as possibility. You stop holding on to the past because you understand it was only preparing you for this exact moment. Everything accelerates when you align. You feel lighter, grounded, and surprisingly at peace, even without having everything figured out. This peace doesn't come from certainty. It comes from trust. Trust that you are no longer resisting the flow of your life. Trust that reality is not working against you but with you. Trust that the shift you made internally is beginning to transform everything externally. And here is the most powerful part. Your reality had been asking for this shift long before you noticed. But the moment you finally said yes, everything began to move. You didn't notice it at first. No one ever does. The shift begins quietly, like distant thunder you can barely hear. It starts with discomfort, that subtle feeling that something isn't aligned anymore. Then it grows into restlessness, into questioning, into the collapse of routines you once trusted. And then without warning, you find yourself standing in the middle of a life that doesn't fit you the way it used to. But here's the truth. Every moment of confusion, every ending, every unexpected change was part of a larger conversation between you and your reality. Life has been whispering to you, guiding you, pushing you toward evolution long before you were ready to accept it. The discomfort was not punishment. The collapse was not failure. Every single shift was an invitation to release who you were, an invitation to meet who you are becoming, an invitation to step into a version of yourself that your old reality was too small to hold. Most people spend their entire lives ignoring these signs. They numb the discomfort, run from the uncertainty, cling to outdated identities, and call it stability. But growth is not stable. Transformation is not comfortable, and evolution never happens inside the walls of who you used to be. You are experiencing this shift because you are ready, even if you don't fully believe it yet. Reality only asks for change when the next chapter has already begun within you. The internal shift always happens first. You outgrow the old mindset. You outgrow the old environment. You outgrow the old version of you that was built for survival, not expansion. And when that inner growth reaches a certain point, life begins rearranging your world so that your outer life can match your inner truth. This is what has been happening to you. All the signs you dismissed, all the endings that felt sudden, all the emotions you tried to ignore, all the moments of clarity you brushed aside, they were not random, they were instructions. And the moment you decide to take these instructions seriously, everything begins to change. Not instantly, not dramatically, but powerfully. You start making different choices. You start thinking with more clarity. You start listening to your intuition instead of your fears. You start removing environments and people that shrink your energy. And slowly, almost imperceptibly, your life begins to align. Alignment feels like exhaling after holding your breath for years. It feels like finally recognizing the person in the mirror. It feels like walking into a future you once doubted you deserved. It feels like coming home, not to a place, but to yourself. This shift you're experiencing is not a breakdown. It is a breakthrough preparing to surface. You didn't notice it before, but you notice it now. And once you see it, you cannot unsee it. You cannot pretend you're still the person you were before the shift began. You have already crossed a threshold internally, and your external world is now rearranging itself to match the frequency of your evolution. So here is the question that matters most. What are you going to do with this awareness? Because awareness is powerful, but only if you act on it. Your life has opened the door. Now it's up to you to walk through it. Take the step you've been postponing. Set the boundary you've been afraid to set. Let go of the habit that keeps you stuck. Choose the path that feels like alignment, not obligation. Say yes to the version of you that has been knocking for years. Your reality is not asking for small adjustments. It's asking for a shift. And deep down, you know it's time. If this video helped you understand your shift, if it put words to the changes you've been feeling, then don't leave without taking action. Like this video so more people can find it. Subscribe for more content that awakens your mind and elevates your consciousness. And comment below. What part of your life is asking for a shift right now? Your transformation doesn't begin tomorrow. It begins the moment you decide to honor the message your life has been sending you.